Hey, what's going on, collectors? Miguel here from Toy Quest 101, and on this episode of That Geeks At You Show, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, and Grogu from the Mandalorian quarter scale statue from our friends over at Iron Studios. And that episode is going to start right now. Hey, what's going on, collectors? Miguel here as always, and welcome to another episode of That Geeks At You Show right here on Toy Quest 101. Now, like I mentioned before, guys, we are going to be taking a look at the Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, and Grogu from The Mandalorian, and this is a quarter scale statue from our friends over at Iron Studios. Now, before we start, as always, guys, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to Toy Quest 101. And don't forget to hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any toy reviews, statue unboxings, or any celebrity guests that might pop up on our show. Now, The Mandalorian is one of the most popular series to come out of Disney Plus and Star Wars. And if you guys remember that iconic, badass scene when Luke Skywalker arrives to take Grogu from the Mandalorian's hands with R2-D2, and that's what we have here in quarter scale form, and I cannot wait to unbox it. Now, the box is your typical Star Wars box. It's all black, and you see the statue here in the front, and I cannot wait to unbox and review it, so let's get to unboxing it. All right, guys, here it is. You have Luke Skywalker, you have R2-D2, and you have Grogu. You have three characters in one quarter scale statue. and it's from our friends over at Iron Studios. This is part of their Legacy Star Wars line, and this thing looks really cool, guys. Now, this is from an iconic scene from The Mandalorian when Luke Skywalker surprises everybody with R2-D2 to get Grogu from The Mandalorian. I'm never gonna forget that scene. I was going nuts. A really cool, legendary scene, and this is what we're seeing right here. Now let's jump into this review because this statue is worth $1,300, or we're gonna see if it's worth that price after this review. So let's jump right into it. Now the base is from Moff Gideon's cruiser, so I thought that was really cool. It is staying true to the scene, and the base looks cool. You see a lot of details here. Again, this is Gideon's space cruiser base right here, which I thought was awesome, and it holds all 3 characters. Now let's talk about R2-D2. This is my favorite part of the statue because R2-D2 does have an LED feature. You see all these lights blinking both in the front and the back and the side of the statue. I mean, this thing is lit up very, very well. It's very bright, and I absolutely love the fact that it is USB powered, so no batteries, guys. I love that. Thank you, Iron Studios. We hate batteries. And not only that, but it does come with some really cool sound effects. Check this out. Isn't that cool, guys? You cannot beat that. So far for the price, you're getting 3 characters, an LED feature, and sound effects, and it's USB powered. Just talking alone about R2-D2. Now R2-D2 sculpt looks really, really good. Very accurate to R2-D2 in the movies and the shows. His size compared to Luke is very good as well. He's not too big, he's not too small, he's perfect. And of course, his color applications look really good as well. You got your blues, your silvers, and your whites. And he looks pretty good. He takes half of the base, and he's very, very well sculpted, guys. And as you've seen in the video, there is a part that goes into keyhole into the base that gives it the power for it to go ahead and light up and give you the sound effects as well. Now let's move over to Luke Skywalker. He's wearing his cloak, which is very detailed. And the cloak looks really good because you see here on the back of it, his hoodie is kind of laying on the back of his back and his cloak. And there's a lot of textures here on this cloak. The cloak was done very, very well. Now, one huge downfall that I cannot appreciate whatsoever is that when you put this cloak on, it has to slide over Luke Skywalker, and it's very tight. If you do it a lot, there is going to be paint rubs, and it might affect the paint applications to either the cloak or Luke himself. And I know it was very hard to put on the first time I was trying it out, but that's the only downfall to this statue so far, is that the cloak, the slide-in feature thing, wasn't cutting it for me. And again, it causes to rub when you put it on. So make sure you got this at home, guys. Don't keep taking it off and on because it will affect the paint. It's a very, very tight fit. Now, once the cloak is on, he looks absolutely amazing, guys. I mean, it is very accurate. You're gonna see the cloak has all these ripple effects. Again, the details and the texture and stuff, and he looks absolutely amazing. Now, underneath him, you're gonna see his Jedi clothes, and it looks really good. His boots look really good. Of course, he has his lightsaber here on the inside, and his belt looks good. And you're gonna see the rest of his suit, all black, and it looks absolutely amazing, guys. The paint applications look really, really good. I think they did a good job with the sculpt overall. And now let's move over to the portrait. Now we're looking for that young Mark Hamill portrait. Now, guys, I think personally, in my opinion, I think this is spot on, right? And for those who think it's a little off, you got to remember that this scene was all CGI'd. So it might not look 1,000% accurate. For me, I think it's spot on. But you got to remember, this was a CGI moment in this series, but this looks like Mark Hamill. This looks like Luke Skywalker. I think they did an amazing job. His eyes, his cheeks, his chin, everything there. His hair looks really, really good. I think this is screaming Mark Hamill to me. I think they knocked it out of the park. Now, when I originally got this statue, this was my main concern, is that Mark Hamill portrait. I think it's a hard portrait to do, but I think for a statue, I think they did an amazing job for it, guys. And you can see this close up here. He looks really, really good. The paint applications look good. You see a little bit of stubble as well, but man, he looks absolutely amazing. Everything is proportionate. I think they knocked it out of the park with the portrait. Now, moving on to Grogu, guys, he looks really, really good. Now, I love his glossy eyes because you guys know that this was a very sentimental scene in the series where Grogu is being taken away from the Mandalorian to go train with Luke So it almost looked like he's tearing up, which I absolutely love. His portrait looks really, really good. His color applications look good. He's not too green. He's not like not green, right? He's just perfect as far as the color goes with Grogu. And of course, you see the punched hair on the top, which is an added little feature I did not know about. You see a little stubble up there on top of his head. He looks so cute. But his color applications and his portrait, his ears, everything looks outstanding. It looks really, really good. They didn't overdo him and they didn't underdo him as well. They kept the same exact details throughout this statue, and it looks really, really good. Now his little cloak too looks good. His little jacket looks good. You're gonna see a lot of ripple effects, a lot of movement in his jacket. You see where the hand is holding him as well. I think they did a really good job with the sculpt, and the color applications, the browns and stuff look good too. You see some shadowing effects, but man, he looks awesome, guys. Now, the question is this worth $1,200 or $1,299, whatever the price is? Man, it is a very high price, a little bit higher than normal for a quarter scale statue. But to be honest with you guys, after looking at this and after having it in my hand, I think it definitely is. Aside from the cloak being hard to put on, between having 3 figures on one statue, between having an LED feature, between having a USB powered LED feature, and the sound effects, and even this little stubble here of hair, man, I think they did an amazing job, and I think it's definitely worth it, especially if you get it on sale, guys. You might catch this on sale and definitely be worth having in your collection, especially if you're a Star Wars fan or even just a Mandalorian fan. I think that Iron Studios does an amazing job with their Star Wars lines, especially the quarter scale ones. So I'm looking forward to do more quarter scale Iron Studios Star Wars lines for you guys, but this is definitely cool. I'm giving this a thumbs up. I think it's worth the price, especially if you catch it on sale. And my favorite thing, again, is R2-D2, the LED feature, and the sound effects. This looks amazing. The portraits are spot on. Everything's spot on. The paint applications, the base. Man, it's just a really well done statue. Guys, let us know in the comments below what you think of this statue. If you guys have any Star Wars lines from Iron Studios, especially the quarter scale lines, right? And we're gonna have all the links in the bio where you could go ahead and get yours with our discount as well, guys. Always follow us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. And don't forget to subscribe to Toy Quest 101. May the Force be with you.